When was the last time you missed a meal or two? Were you hungry? Have you ever experienced deep hunger? Planetary food production is at an all-time high, yet there are 800 million of us that are extremely hungry. Around 30 years ago, we crossed this Malthusian point, the point at which food required to feed our planet was far outstripped by the food that we produce. We are now faced with the need to double food production in the next 35 years. In the past 75 years, trillions of dollars of aid have flowed into Africa. Unfortunately, much of the time, financial aid competes with economic development. Free grain, free corn from the Midwest, like Minnesota, competes with local farmers. And in fact, when you look at the root causes, hunger is not caused by food shortages. It turns out that the wet, dry seasons in Africa leave half of the year in famine. Half the population is chronically malnourished. In addition, a full half of all the food that is produced rots on the ground, so they must import half of their crop. Here in America, our farmers fertilize and water their genetically engineered seed. They are the most efficient farmers on the planet, yet they will only be able to increase production by 5 or 10%. Jekanoya here works on his 1.5-acre farm in Africa. He produces in a very good year 500 kilograms of maize. This is not enough to feed his 5 children. In fact, he needs twice that. Smallholder farmers need capital in order to buy seed and fertilizer. They need access to markets far beyond the roadside areas. We must provide a way in which they can actually take this food they produce and preserve it and get it to market. Across the globe, there are 2.5 billion subsistence farmers. We must find a way to make them investable. We at Cheetah Development have found a way to invest in these farmers. This is an example of one of our projects. The field on the left is a Cheetah Development project. The field on the right is not. They were both planted on the same day. Our work directly impacts farmer income immediately. We are investing in farmers to help them become business farmers. Once their production increases, we must find a way to preserve the crops. These solar dehydrators will dry 3 tons of crop a year. In the process, we're able to provide a variety of markets for access. The Cheetah bicycle allows a single farmer to reduce his or her time to market from 333 hours down to 8 hours. It's designed here in Minnesota, built in Africa, and allows the farmer to carry a full half-ton with every trip. We're now in the process of adapting this so it can become a taxi in the remote mountain areas. And in fact, if you think about a child's carrying seat on the back of a bicycle, blow it up, make it larger, and attach it to the frame of our bicycle, this is our vision for a remote ambulance. Jane Mahaly bought 1 food dryer. She was so successful, she bought a second and a third for her onions, greens, and apple-like products. She was able to increase her annual income by $1,000. The Mwamba church group purchased 10 of our dryers, and this remote mountainous area was able to, in fact, generate over $5,000 in income for this church group in its first year. Remember Jekanoya? In his first year with us, he was able to generate the largest crop he's ever had. He kept 15 bags of maize for his family, and he sold 10 bags for $280. That's more money than he has ever had. His children have shoes. They have pencils and paper, and so they can now go to school. Cheetah Development is working on converting the two most challenging threats to humanity on the planet. We're taking the largest demographic, subsistence farmers, investing in them, and helping them produce food to feed the largest market, the 800 million who are hungry. In the process, our farmers find that it's less necessary to clear and burn forests. So in the process, these farmers will, in a way, be combating climate change. They will help combat emerging diseases, empower women, and eliminate child labor. Cheetah Development, a micro-venture capital model of aid. We invest in the poor, we don't give to them. And the paradox is this: in a way, those who can't feed themselves today may be able to feed the world tomorrow. Thank you.